Hello and welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour on today, July 8th. This is the show where we do some unscripted ServiceNow development on the Now platform. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and do some introductions. Chuck, go ahead.
Hey, my name is Chuck Tomasi, Senior Developer Advocate at ServiceNow. Been at the company since 2010, customer for a couple of years before that, always focused on custom applications, integrations, and just having a blast doing this. Looking forward to more of it as we go forward. Today will be one of those cases of having fun.
Ashutosh.
Hey guys, I'm Ashutosh. I'm working for NN in Netherlands. I'm community MVP and dev MVP. Thanks for having me, Brad and Chuck.
And Mohammed.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Sharjeel. I'm a ServiceNow developer for the last 3 years. I'm a developer MVP as well as the community MVP. I'm super excited to be here.
All right, and my name is Brad Tilton. I am a Senior Developer Advocate with the Developer Program here at ServiceNow. I've been developing on the platform for a while now and have worked at ServiceNow for a little while now. So I'm excited about today's show. And I'm excited to have a couple of our developer MVPs on the show. We love having MVPs on and guests in general. So thanks for being here. But before we get into what we're doing, there's another important part of our show where we are always drinking something while we are coding. Chuck, what are you drinking today?
Brad, your resume was rather non-specific today.
I just want to get into it.
Okay, all right. I am taking the lightweight approach. I am drinking water today for reasons I won't get into.
All right. Ashutosh, what are you drinking today?
Same as Chuck. I have a water today.
Nice. Mohammed?
Same H2O water.
More water. I missed the memo. So today I'm drinking a Brother Thelonious Belgian style Abbey Ale. So I do actually have some water as well. So, but that's awesome. All right. Well, today we're going to be doing some guided tours in Service Portal for a karaoke app that Chuck built. If you missed the 4 hours that he sang karaoke during CreatorCon this past year, it was one of my favorite parts of CreatorCon because we made him do all sorts of voices and it was great. So if you caught that, he's going to be doing some more things, or we're going to be doing more things on that app on the show today. So I'll turn it over to Chuck. And what exactly are we trying to accomplish today?
We are trying to help people that are using this. I'm seeing more and more people that are signing up and having their own parties, but this is a fairly complex application. There's different modes in which you can manage the queues. There are different parties you can be. It gets a little convoluted. So, I'm trying to simplify it so that even my mother could use it if she wants. Pick up her phone, log in with Google, hit the one click, I'm starting to sing. But there's more to it beyond that. And I wanted to use Guided Tour Designer with Service Portal to give people some insight to some of these other features. But that's really what I'm after today. I did one to start a solo sing-along party, which I just realized is now obsolete based on a feature I put in this morning. So I'm gonna have to rewrite that tour, but I can give you an idea of what's happening. And then we can build another one out from there and explore the different features. Because I know that guided tours are one of those things that is really handy to use to offload some of that training process and get new users onboarded to an application. It could be one of our out-of-box applications. You could walk them around your incident management system as it gets configured and say, here's how to fill out a ticket. Here's how to do this. Here's how to do that. And you could put this on your, sorry, my brain just went completely blank there for a second. You could put this on the custom applications as well. So anything in the standard UI, anything in Service Portal, custom UI pages, if you've written that. I don't know, Brad, do you know if it works with Workspace and the Now Experience yet?
I think that's a no, and I had on my to-do list to ping someone to ask them if where that is on the roadmap, because I'm sure it's somewhere on the roadmap, and I did not get to that. So
yeah, that and ATF are probably,
yeah.
ATF really wants to get on that as well. So they and mobile, it is. Now, mobile with guided tours is a little tricky. In fact, we don't even expose guided tours in Service Portal on mobile because you'd get into a problem with putting the bubbles next to things. Mobile is a very smaller experience. So this is really meant for a desktop experience. So that's what we're after. We're going to try and build at least one tour today, maybe look at some of the features. This is a low-code thing. I don't think we're going to get too complicated. And I'm going to point out some areas that I discovered that I'd like to see implemented into guided tours at some point. This is by no way a priority, but if there's any of our product managers out there listening, or I will ping them in Slack soon after,
and
say,
send them
go
the
watch
video.
this and speed up to time code, blah, 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 where I say, here's what I really wish we could have. So we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, I'm happy we're doing guided tours. They're one of those things where I think most apps would benefit from some sort of guided tour, because it's basically, you're able to build training into your app, and pretty much anything that you build is going to need some sort of training. It's also something, I don't know that we've ever done it on live code. I don't remember when the last time I actually built a guided tour. It's been a really long time. So I think it's a great thing to revisit, even if it is a lower code solution. It's something that should probably be built into pretty much everything. So yeah.
Yeah, right. I agree. But it's got an overhead cost like ATF does. If you make changes, you move fields around, you must go and revisit your tours to make sure that they're still valid, to make sure that the instructions still make sense. So it's one of those things that once you start investing in it, you're going to have to keep that investment up.
Yeah, that's a great point.
All right, shall we begin?
Let's do it.
We got to find the magic button that says screen share. There it is. And then I have to find the right screen to share. And away we go. And away goes the Zoom window that's right on top of everything I need to see. All right. Does ATF test guided tours? Wow, that's a great question. I don't know. Let me show you the one that I've built out so far. I'm on my karaoke dev instance, and this is a typical opening screen that you would see when you've logged in and you've joined a party or you've created a party, menu options across the top, and there is tours. I am using the standard Service Portal header menu. I've built my menu options on top of this, but I really didn't go too hog wild on the menu options. There's our avatar that we did a few weeks ago with Sarah Tolson. So we've got tours, and I've got one tour in here. It's called Just Me Singing Alone. Okay. So I will click that. It guides me to click the party menu, choose a party to create. Uh-oh, there we go. Choose create party. And it says, give your party a name up to 25 characters. We'll call this live coding karaoke hour. And then I don't have to set anything else. It's already defaulted to how many people are singing, just me. I'll be singing the songs, I'm singing alone, and my default region is based on my IP address, so United States works for me. A friendly hint that says, read the instructions and click OK. I've read these instructions so closely, I modified them this morning. I knew they were a little out of date, like any other instructions. And now I've created a new party. You can see down on the footer, it says live coding karaoke hour. And then type a search term based on the title or artist. So we'll say Beatles, because that's an easy one. Now let's do something a little more creative. Billy Joel. Beatles is too easy. And then click the enter button. So I am ready to go. I can now start singing, click it, YouTube window pops open. We won't play the music because we might get banned from YouTube for playing a YouTube video. Imagine that. And then it says, the tour has ended. The next step wasn't found. So apparently we went off the normal path for the tour.
Is that so does it, I'm showing that I haven't done guided tours in a while. That's just if you have clicked somewhere you shouldn't have, it's going to say the tour has ended?
Yep.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, I'm seeing that on the community when I check my inbox. I get that message. Is anybody else seeing that? I wonder. Because it says the tour has ended. I didn't know I was on a tour. I didn't know the community had tours. So I'm totally confused on that message. I'll get that off to Dan at some point. So what I've got other features in here. Like, what if I want to create a party that I'm not the only person? I could go and create a party, use some different options in here. Say, I've got a small group. We're singing face to face now that we're coming out of the whole pandemic thing, or soon will be. So there's going to be a different path for that. But these menus up on here, this is the part where I'd like to see some data from the application, data from the system driving the tours. Because if I am in a solo party, let me just show you how these change. I won't have any ratings. I won't have some of these options. If I join a solo party called Solo Party 3, you can guess there was probably a solo party 1 and 2 at some point. There are different options in here. I don't have the queuing menu. So I shouldn't be showing tours that have to do with, say, a DJ managing a queue if I'm in a solo party. There's no DJ. That's the kind of context that I'd like the tours to be aware of. Use some data. I envision the solution as being a script field that gets evaluated and it returns a true or a false. Should I activate this tour right now? Right now, we can base the tour visibility on roles, the records or tables you're looking at, the view. So there's some metadata behind this, but not flexible enough for me at this point. Let's go build another tour. I had the idea of creating one of those multi-person parties. I also missed a couple of features in that first party the first tour that I talked about before. So I am going to find guided tours, of course, under guided tour designer. I can create a tour. I can see the existing guided tours. That's the list that's up here. How's the font size and the screen spacing and whatnot, Brad?
I think you might be able to go in one more zoom.
Okay. I went from 125 to 150 on a 1080p screen. So we'll see how that works. Not guaranteeing anything will work with guided tour designer, because it's going to have its own UI in a second. So step 1, let's go create a new tour. I can always do the pinch zoom thing too. That helps. And it brings up, it says, hey, let's get started. Give your tour a name. Let's sing in person. Less than 10 people, or 10 to 20, 2 to 10 people. 2 to 10 people. Terrible title, but that's what it'll show. The tour type is going to be service portal. I tell it which portal. It's going to be my karaoke portal. This is where I want to expose it.
Can you click on tour type again?
Yeah. We had standard UI, which is your lists and forms. And service portal, of course, is service portal. And custom allows you to go after like a custom UI page or something that doesn't really have a standard table assigned to it. Like here's $knowledge.do is what they say here.
I wonder if it uses the same functionality as ATF behind the scenes to go grab all the elements on the page and make them available.
Yeah, the page inspector is part of that. I don't know if that was at the bottom. There is a different methodology you use to do that because it needs to capture the various screen elements and puts tags with them so it knows where you're looking and what's inbounds and out of bounds. So you don't like drop a little speech bubble on a background and go here.
Yeah.
What about flow designers? Like, I think those are also not supported, isn't it?
I believe you're right. We could try. Let's see. Flow Designer's page is.
That would be custom.
Yeah, it would definitely be custom. Let's open it up. It's $flow-designer.do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, we're here. We're playing.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm going to leave it available for all people. Let's create a tour. I'll delete this later so it doesn't end up in my app repo.
Doesn't Flow Designer has its own tour now, doesn't it?
Yeah, starting from Qubit, yes.
Oh, you're right.
It popped us out of the frame.
It did.
Yeah,
It really didn't
yeah.
know what to do here. It kind of got confused.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
this was for citizen developers. We wanted to train them, but yeah, it popped out of the window.
Oops,
Yeah, that makes
guided
sense.
tour. All right, we'll close that. Guided tour. Let's go and make sure that we didn't create one by accident here. No, we're good. Oh,
No, the first one.
let's get rid of that one. Actually, we could just reconfigure it. Let's reconfigure it. I don't want to delete it. So this is the actual record. It's not published yet. Still in draft. Nobody's done anything. Let's take that out. And can we fix this? Context. What is the context? I don't know. Let's go. Ooh, I think we need to do a little reverse engineering here.
It should give us some context on what it's looking for in that field.
Well, fortunately, I have this other one that I built.
There's
The
no
type
context.
needs to be changed. So service portal, there's the other two fields. So we must have a UI policy somewhere in place here that's not letting us do what we need to do because we can't change the type. Once the type is set, that's very not friendly. Okay, we're gonna have to delete it. Goodbye.
Wonder what's happening behind the scenes that I don't know, maybe the steps are all
Exactly.
different. Maybe the steps are all different. So if you changed it, it would, you might as well delete it.
Okay, so this will be service portal. Karaoke is the portal. Starting page is karaoke home. I think, yes. Okay, you can type the ID and it will find that. I'm not going to restrict this to any roles, although I could go and find the karaoke user role, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like there's any benefit to me there. The system only does one thing. It's called karaoke.servicenow.com for a reason. Here's my portal. Now, the thing that I didn't put on the other tour is this introduction and the conclusion. So this is very helpful. This wasn't an original feature. I think this came along like 1 or 2 releases after we introduced it. So over on the right, I've got my tour steps, and then I've got this speech bubble that I can drag to where I want to drag it. And you have to be very careful where you drag that thing. So let's create an introduction. Oh, it's using my dark theme mode on the portal. I wasn't sure how that was going to turn out. Title appears here. So this throws me off every time because I want to type here. I want to type here. You have to
Yes.
type here. It looks like a modal that accepts input. It is not. It is here. Okay. So over on the right, this is going to be small face to face party. This tour will take you through the steps to create a party for face-to-face interaction. Okay, I could be a little more creative than that, but we'll come back to that. I save it, and now I have an introduction. If I want to edit that, of course, I would hit the pencil icon and change those properties. So if I could save that. Now I start creating steps between. I do that by taking this call out and dragging it where I want to drag. So in order to create a party, step 1, click the party menu. And it automatically figures out a reasonable place to put the call out. In this case, it's below the menu. You could, if you feel sadistic, try and put it to the left or right. That may be better in your case. You cannot put it above. It says you don't have enough room to put that there. So I'm going to leave it below. I think that's a reasonable place. And then you enter your instructions here. Click the party menu. What do we need to drive that forward? Because some of this, you got to think about the user experiences. If they click the menu, it's going to advance to the next screen automatically. So I don't need a next. This is where these come in handy. How do you want to trigger to go to the next thing? It defaults to click the next button, but that's not always the best case. In this case, I think I want to just, when they click it, I'm going to advance.
So would you say when you would want to use next is something like, hey,
a string field.
Look at this thing on the page, or a string, I guess, yeah, type into the string field and hit next, or just call something out on the page. You don't have to do anything with it.
Right.
You know it's there. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I had on that one, it said, now read the instructions and then click OK. And I'm going to wait here for you to do that.
Yeah, maybe something like type in the left navigation, type update sets. So once you type it, click on.
Right. So click, and it just takes it out of the way. So now it just looks like instructions. And it tells you how many instructions there are. This is one of one so far. And this is also interesting down here, skippable. You may have a situation where you don't necessarily have to do this step, and you don't want your tour to break if they don't do it. So you can check this box and say, this is really optional. We'll go to the next step even if they don't do that. So I don't know if we have a place in here that they can or have to do that, but let's keep walking through this.
Isn't this new in Qubit? Because I know Paris, we didn't have this skippable option. I think it's
Skippable's been around for at least a couple of releases. I think it was Paris. It might have been before.
Yeah, maybe because when we created it was not there.
Really? Okay.
I'm gonna find out.
I don't think it's a new thing in Quebec.
Maybe in Paris, but yeah, we will find it out.
It is a Paris feature.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got my introduction. I've got my clear the party menu. How about click? Chuck can't click, type and talk at the same time, apparently. And you'll see a little purple, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a 1 up here to say, this is step 1. Now, I have to do these steps and follow along. So when it says, click the party menu, I have to click the party menu to expose that. Now, what do I want them to do? I want them to create a party, so let's do the next thing. You can see the various div tags lighting up as I run around the interface on this. So make sure you get the right one. You want this one inside, or could they possibly click the icon over here, or could they click somewhere on the entire row? In this case, you can click the entire row to activate a menu option. So watch that highlighting feature. It can get you in big trouble. People will click options and say, I did it, but it didn't do anything. Like, okay, maybe the region of clicking is not all the best. So in this case, click, create, party. We don't need that one. So let's trigger it on click. Save. There's the 2. So you can kind of follow along. Now it's going to go to a different screen. So some of this may disappear. Some of it may not. First thing they need to do is enter a name. So put that on that field. Give them some instructions. Give your party a name. This one we do want to leave as a next. So they're going to type and then click next. Otherwise, what else could they do? Next step on change. I'm not sure what constitutes a change.
As you type even a single character, it will go to the next. And that's how it will be. Like an on-change script.
Okay, okay. So I don't know if that's the experience I want to. I could see that being good for like a checkbox.
Yeah, I wonder if it's typing or if it's when you click out of the field.
Or tab. We can try. Let's try. Let's see what happens.
On blur is what we would call that, I think, right?
Yeah. Okay. And the nice thing is, we can preview and test before we publish it.
Nice.
So let's go and test this, okay? This tour will take you through the steps of creating a party. Let's begin the tour. Click the party menu. I was really gonna just make a comment about that. Message is in my way, but that's why I use sputil add trivial message. It disappears on its own. Add info message doesn't. And I wish there was a gs.add trivial message, but I haven't found it yet. So create party takes us to the right screen. Let's call this Hello World. Ooh, it changed.
Man.
I tabbed. So I guess on change is really wink, wink, a blur.
Well, that is on change on a form is when you click out of it, right? It's not in the middle of typing.
Yeah, same like our on-change script. So we select, click out like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's got to recognize the change by changing the field. Gotcha. It's not any change to the field. Good clarification.
I think the event is called on blur because there's the one when the letter changes, like when you type a new thing, is like on input, or I can't remember what it's called. Somebody in the chat can probably tell us.
That always confused me when I first started getting into web development, like 20 some years ago. It's like, nothing's getting blurry. Why do I call it on blur? Maybe my eyes are getting blurry.
Yeah, Sam, what's it called when you type? Is it on key down, key up?
Oh, right. It's a key press, something like that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I use that on the ratings because when somebody is singing, a little widget pops up here and says, hey, how about giving Brad some love on how well he's doing singing Take On Me by Aha? And you can rate the stars, and then you can type comments in there, and that's how they do like the little comment character count. All right, next step. We're making it. Ooh, that's fun. Let's not do that. We want to do a select list here. So this is choose. I don't know what the option is. Small party? I can't choose it. Go find out. Create party. What's the option? A small group, 2 to 10 people. Okay. Choose a small group, 2 to 10 people. And then our trigger for that could also be on change, right? Because we need to change that. That is not skippable. Oh, I got a good use for skippable now. Save that. Okay. Oh, we probably don't want to do a request party. So let's leave that field alone. And what I found is when you're making tours and you don't need them to change a field, don't point them at the field. Like, why would you point them and say, hey, here's something informative, but I don't need you to do anything. It just slows down the tour process. And then here's an optional. Click your region. Now it should pick it by IP range, but in case it's wrong or my laptop doesn't really know where it is or I'm using a VPN or something, we could do a skippable step like choose your current region or where your VPN is connected. We won't tell YouTube any about that. Let's make that skippable and on change also. And then finally, I haven't done too many skippables, so I want to walk through this real quick. Click create to launch your new party. This will be an on click. Okay, you ready? Let's preview this. This is where you get really bad names like Party 1, Party 2, Party 3 when you test things. Notice this? That is a calculated gs.get message coming from the URL mode. And since there is the mode says preview, my server widget's looking for something in the sysui message table called screen name preview, because my things typically have mode like create party form. And that's what puts this message up there.
Yeah.
So it just happens to be that the mode for the guided tour preview actually has a URL parameter called mode equals something, and I do too. Okay, click the party menu. Click create party. Give your party a name. Oh, now it's right. It says create party. Interesting. The preview actually went to the right page.
Yeah.
That's handy. I'm trying to remember what it was before. Screen mode, no, screen name preview.
Underscore preview.
There, that's what we're calling it.
Yeah.
Now I can tab, right?
Yeah.
This one is an on change, I think, also. Very nice. And what if I skip that and I just click somewhere else? I don't know how you skip something if you... I mean, I could click create, but that might break my tour. Okay. I thought that was an option for skippable.
Yeah. If you click on cross, yeah.
I don't know. Now I don't know how to skip a skippable. Let's do it again. Tours. Oops, I was in preview. Wrong one. Maybe... What? The callout preview is hidden.
Yeah, because it's not visible on the form at the moment. So might be gave that.
Can they click the X and go?
Callout preview is hidden in this view.
Yeah, because that comes when there is no element visible. That's the reason it will show you that.
But it all starts at the party menu. Create party. Oh, okay, okay. You can't edit it if you're not on the page where you're supposed to be editing. That makes total sense. Gotcha. Okay, I need to relive that just to drill it into my memory. I have options 1 and 2, but because we're not on the party configuration screen, none of these are editable. Well, technically you can edit them, but you can't see the call out.
See, yeah.
Okay. That's why I love doing these things on Live Coding Happy Hour. You don't have to be perfect at all. You just scratch your head and go, oh, that's how it works. So create party takes us back to the forum. There's the other callouts. What is skippable on this? I want to edit. Can I edit, please?
Can you?
There. I had to move off of that to edit it.
If you click the X on the step, does it just go to the next one?
Make step skippable when the tour fails. Oh, I'll bet you can. I'll bet you can. Okay, let's get out of here. I don't want to delete that step. Let's go to preview. You say begin tour. Oh, I already used my favorite name. Watch the edit there. Thank you, trivial message. Create participants. Give your party a name. I'm already in screen name preview. I know there's another one that's missing. It'll be screen help preview. I'm the only singer, 2 to 10 people. Choose this X. Then I should have had a click on the create button.
It should fade here. So if the tour fails,
Right, but this is a skippable step. It shouldn't fail.
That says it. It should move on to the next step in case the tour fails at that step. Is what.
Is there something wrong with our last step? Click create to launch your party. Edit that. Yeah, it should have moved to 6 to 6. Why did it? Is there something funky with 5? I'm not seeing.
Can you make it on click? Can you make it on click and then try? Because I think because
because I didn't change it, maybe.
Yeah, now we can
I don't
try.
know.
I think this
Yeah.
will work because if you click now somewhere else, it will fail.
Oh, it will create a click event because I didn't change anything and it wasn't looking for a click event. That's an interesting thing. Here, watch. Screen help preview.
Yeah.
I have no name for this screen, whatever it is, and I have no help for you. Create party, paste, 2 to 10 people.
Click anywhere else, not on that. Somewhere on the screen.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Wait. I just want to close that. Okay, this doesn't feel right. I'm in Turkey. I'm in the United States. Let's go through it one more time without trying to skip that. Let's just make sure it runs sunny day path first. Okay, click the party menu. As soon as you get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way. Thank you. I know I could have clicked the X myself. Give it a name. Tab. I'm thinking a next would have been better there. It just feels wrong to have an on-change on a string field. 2 to 10 people. Pick.
Oh,
I didn't have to change anything, but that was the on click. I clicked it and it moved on. Create a launch party to continue. This feels really funny. And there's my screen help preview. Anybody else ever do that? You put real messages in that look like error messages to confuse people. Right, close that. First things first. This needs to be, yes, I know. This needs to be trigger next step on enter key. No. Next step on change, next step on any key press. I like my next button there. So that's that one. Let's go back to this screen. How do we deal with this choice list on step 5? This is really kind of confusing me now. Yeah. We could do a next button. That would be kind of let's try it with that. I think that's kind of annoying on a choice list. But I just want to see this thing work. How many times have we said that on Live Coding Happy Hour, Brad?
So many.
Type in the name. I already used that. So the logical name for this one is 2. A small group, 2 to 10 people. Choose your current region or where your VPN is connected. I'm VPNing through Senegal. Next. Launch your party. Read the instructions. Oh, I need a read instructions button there. Okay. So it works. I wouldn't call it optimal. And I don't know if we can do the skip step yet. This was still skippable, yes? Yes, still skippable. I want to see that skippable thing actually work. Preview one more time. Told you we're going to get some really crappy party names here. Create party. Give it a name. Number 3. Next. 2 to 10. Can we skip this? I don't even know how you skip now.
But I would want it to come up and tell me what the next step is. Right?
Yeah, that's what you would think would happen. Hang on. Docs to the rescue. We don't often read documentation on this show.
I have done some searching and it's not very clear.
Oh, goody.
The docs say, oh, go ahead.
So it could be something like when guided tour fail for the user, he restarts it, and at that time we might be able to skip all those because the tour will restart from the start. So might be giving the capability to the users to skip all those steps to them where we have actually abandoned guided.
But what constitutes a skip?
You can move on in case the tour fails.
Yeah, that's pretty boring and undescriptive.
That's all that it's going to tell us.
I didn't publish this yet, and we're still in preview. Anything in the chat? If you were to amend your name by going back to the field and changing it, would that trigger the next on change step, or does each step look for changes on the field it's dropped on only?
My guess would be it's on the element that it's running against.
Yeah, that's my understanding too.
Right, because that on change value that we had only showed up on an input field. It didn't show up like on the menu option that we clicked on.
What I need is after this, I need one more step that says, there's a case where they didn't place the call out very well. Can't read the instructions if the call out's on top of them.
Can you go under?
Yeah. Under's fine. Trigger on the next button, or this should be a trigger on click. This would be a better case for a conclusion than what I had before, where I wanted to walk them through searching and selecting and marking favorites, because that's what I tried doing on the first tour, and it got all confused at that point. That's why it terminated. So let's do a conclusion. Thanks for creating a new party. Now, be sure to invite your friends by going to the party menu and clicking share. Or you can have them scan the barcode from the queue menu. I'll put icons in here later. Barcode at the top of the DJ player in the queue menu. What do you say maybe skippable doesn't work in preview? You can try publishing it and see what happens.
I was going to say that it can be the case because
Are you sure you want to confirm?
We are not able to see the failure message.
Tours. Have a small group face-to-face. Begin the tour. Try that. Create that. Give it a name. Karaoke. Small group. I mean, if I went, I don't want to go off the page. That's the problem. Sure, let's try it. That's skippable, but obviously I can't come back to that screen. Oh! Okay, but obviously I've lost all my other settings.
Yeah. Huh.
Interesting. Okay, now we know how that behaves. We just weren't doing the right things.
It just did, it doesn't do what we want it to. It does something else.
Well, let's try what we wanted to. Okay, closing that did not break. Maybe we can just exit. Hold on. Let's do that again. Tours. Have a small group begin. Go boom, boom. We're already there, so we go burn the witches. There. We're getting a little darker in our party names, but that's okay.
It's later in the show, you know.
If we close this, and no, it's just not going to let me move to the next step. So X is not the right answer. Create, nope. That tour is gone. When you click X, you are saying, I want nothing more to do with this tour. So skippable is if you start poking around and doing other things in other places, maybe even leaving the page.
Yeah, that makes sense in a tour that's not like fill out this thing and do all these things, and more of like a, hey, it's your first time on this portal, why don't you check out all these features, and if you randomly get out of it, you can still get back to it.
I'm not sure I agree with the functionality the way it is.
Now we have to send it to the PM.
Yeah. What? How do you skip a skippable step in Service Portal without killing the tour or really confusing where people are going?
Yeah, it's like, is there an optional step?
I mean, if I had gone like this, go create tour again, click, what is this? I think somebody else's CSS just got in my way. And why do I have the big green border around the screen? Is it because I'm still in? Okay, status is published. Oh, the big green border is, sorry, that's my Zoom screen. I thought it was Guided Tour Designer getting in the way. Okay, never mind. Let's try this again. I refreshed my entire screen. Small group, face-to-face, click party. Okay, I don't know where that green circle thing came from. That was pretty wild. If I were to break the rules and say, I'm going to change other things, that does not seem to make an impact on the instructions. I'm half expecting at some point I'm going to see the tour died because these are not skippable steps.
Now, if you click somewhere else instead of this,
it will say your tour died.
Yeah. No.
Or not.
Does your tour come back?
It will not let go. Wow.
I don't know.
That's pretty darn persistent.
I just tried this, and for me, in my instance, it came as abandoned. The tour was abandoned.
When and how? I can't end this tour abruptly. I can't give it an abnormal termination. I mean, we've successfully built a tour, and if everybody follows the steps, they will do what I want them to do. But if they don't do what I want them to do, they're going to be wholly confused. Can you start another tour in the middle of a tour? Apparently so. That would end a tour. Start another tour.
We can check in the analytics table, right? If your previous tour is still in progress.
Wow, that's just too logical. Guided tours overview. Look, I've made some data today.
Views, yeah.
Disengaged users, that would be us.
If we click on that 7.
Oh, click the 7. Yes?
Here we can. So see.
I'm glad I brought you along. I would not have come
here. Failed and dismissed. But it is
dismissed, failed. When did we get a fail?
Is this because of your SPU that add-on on the
Wait a minute.
browser?
Let's look at the date these were created. Maybe these were like 3 weeks ago when I was doing this.
Oh, a couple of them were.
Yeah, those are old. This is all today, but we had a couple of failed today. Element not present, element not present. That was near the top of the show. Well, this one was this morning. I'm not paying attention to that one.
Sam wonders if the skippable maybe applies to an out of the box, like the standard UI, I think is what he's saying here. Trying an out of the
Maybe.
box app form.
You think Service Portal is just messing with it?
I don't know. That would be
Well,
a good troubleshooting step.
I'm liking this tour better than my first one. The first one had too many steps. So I guess it's like ATF. Keep them simple. Do one thing. Walk them through. Give them a conclusion with possible next steps. Anything else? I kind of like that analytics screen though. I want to go explore that some more. What else? What did we have on here? I remember when this came out. This is a fairly recent thing too, because people were saying I've got these tours, but I don't know if people are using them. And I thought there was. Oh, you can configure Autolaunch too.
Yep.
So there's options to take a tour and automatically launch it, which says, the first time you see this, I'm going to launch it on you. And I thought there were conditions to say, don't ever show it to me again, but I might be confusing that with announcements. Want to try it?
I've seen issues with this as well. It will auto launch
Oh, goody.
every time, but every time you reload the page, it will auto launch. Because I tried to disable. Once you get that pop-up, it will ask you, do you want to auto launch? Yeah, you say I don't want to do it. But next time, whenever you revisit the page, it will again do that.
Okay, I have to see this kind of gross punishment. Let's turn on auto launch. Go to my actual page. I'm going to go to. Oh, it didn't auto launch. They'll do a refresh. I'm on that page. Karaoke home. It didn't auto launch. Great, another thing we expect.
Karaoke.
What's auto?
Karaoke.
Can you auto launch more than one? And why can't I put these kind of nice widgets on a standard list and form instead of a true/false checkbox? Wouldn't that be nice?
I think you can auto launch more than one because it has an order field.
Oh, the tours themselves have order?
No, that page we were just looking at had an order.
Configure auto launch.
Auto launch. This one, 2 tours. Oh, I see. How do you set that?
Oh,
you can drag them around.
Oh, nice.
But there's a drag handle. Apparently it doesn't do anything. Unless there's some.
Go back to your service portal. What was the URL on your service portal? Was there anything extra in it?
It's /karaoke
Oh,
? ID equals karaoke home. And the little configuration panel here said you have 2 tours available in here.
Is it a session thing? Do you need a new session?
I hereby refreshed the page and nothing happened.
I think that order will come if you click it true. Can you try?
And was it something in the guided tour record itself that's different? Active, publish, karaoke home, options. I'm really curious what the options field is for. And this one is karaoke home, additional URL parameters. See, this got me thinking too. The additional URL parameters might be a way to set a context on this. I was thinking maybe I could add some, I'd have to really modify this app to start putting context into the URL and then say over here, like for example, a specific view, I could say, watch for a solo party or watch for a public party because the menu options would be different. Or so that is one way I was thinking of possibly doing that.
What if you close out that tab and open a new one? One time Andrew made me do that on a live code, and I was sure it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, the skepticism is high, isn't it?
On the service portal. So launch the service portal in a new tab.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Instead of refreshing. Yeah.
Okay. Dev. Boom, boom.
And then my other idea is to log out and log back in and see if getting a new session.
There's an auto launch. Hey.
There's a new
You got
tab.
one of them to auto launch. Okay. Click the party menu. Do some other stuff. I don't feel like it. Go away. Oh! That's different. Maybe you might be onto something with the complete refresh.
Yeah, so
You
this,
wanna-
do you want to stop this tour from auto launching again? And if
Yes.
you say yes,
And you were saying this doesn't work?
yeah, for me it was showing the auto launch again. It was showing the tour again.
Let's do Brad's trick again. Copy, close, tab, paste.
Well, it worked when we refreshed, right? It didn't show it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so the auto launch worked there.
This one seems to be working.
This one,
It still.
oh, the number shows up when it's an auto launch.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you want to sort something that's not launching? Wow, we are really slow today, aren't we?
All right, I think we're running.
We're at time,
close.
and we're just goofing around now. I can still take the what? What is it doing? I want to see create party. Which tour did it just take me on? Oh, this is the second one.
Oh yeah,
Give me
'cause
party
you
name.
told it to do both.
This is the solo party because we just told it to auto launch. But if I say, go away, don't ever show it to me again, I should still be able to launch it manually. Yes, okay. So auto launch is a thing. Phew. Are we done? That is not at all what I planned today.
Well, I think we all learned some things for sure.
I could use a beer.
So I'll tell you how mine was in just a minute. But let's go around, and because we're here, let's rate our waters, and I'll give you a score on my beer. Chuck, how was your water?
Really glad I installed that water filtration system years ago, because Phoenix, Arizona water is full of minerals that I don't need. I give this a 5 because water is always a 5.
Nice. Ashutosh, how's your water? And you can bump it based on how you think Chuck did today. So
We don't get the quarter point success factor.
10 on 10. It's warm.
all right. Mohammed, how about you?
5 of 5.
5. And I'm
I'm
gonna
at a 5.
I'm gonna be high. This is one of my favorite beers. I haven't been able to find it for a long time, but it's that Brother Thelonious. I'm gonna give it a 4.75 because it's very good. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks Ashutosh and Mohammed for joining us. It was great having you on the show. And before we go, Chuck, are there any announcements we want to make? We have about a minute.
We just
left.
got the registration page up for the July 27th Tech Now. So July 27th, Tech Now is all about the Roam platform features. This is one of those 2 big ones of the year that you don't want to miss. So mark your calendar or follow up with that. If you want to register, the registration page is devlink.sn/TN, as in Tech Now, TN88REG, reg. I try to keep these consistent and simple. If you can't remember that, you can always go to the devlink.sn master directory at /links, go to the Tech Now directory, and that episode 88 will be right at the top. So check that out. You don't want to miss that one. Breakpoint came out yesterday with Rajiv Sethi, so take a listen to that. He talks about starting a citizen developer program with me. Had a lot of fun with that. I just recorded a day or 2 ago the episode with Adam Stout where we are talking about all things Roam. So kind of a prelude to the Tech Now. That episode will actually be delayed 1 day. So instead of coming out on Wednesday the 21st when it's scheduled, I don't want to wait 13 more days. So we're going to wait 1 more day and release the next episode of Breakpoint on the 22nd, which is early access, early availability. when you can upgrade your PDI. So you probably want to be doing that upgrade cycle while you're listening to the podcast. So check it out. Breakpoint Podcast. Tech Now is coming up. What else? We've got a Creator Toolbox on Wednesday. Brad, you're handling that one, right?
Yep, we're going to do one on Tuesday. I published a blog on exposing your now experience components properties in UI Builder. So check that out on the developer blog, developer.servicenow.com/blog.do today. So you can check that out. We are also going to be doing a lot of Roam content. So Chuck mentioned July, I think 22nd is when we think early availability will start. And from there, for about the next 2 months, pretty much anything that Chuck and myself do on both the shows and videos and the blog is all going to be Roam related. So, bookmark the blog, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to find out more about Roam. I know, Ashutosh, you have a podcast, right? And I think the latest one was with Phil, where you guys called me out for MVP swag. Thanks for that. Anything else that you want to plug, or how can we get to the podcast?
Yeah, I would say our podcast is on Buzzsprout. So I will share the link in the comments of this video.
Yep. We'll put it in the description for the video.
Yeah. And I would say just watch out for the next podcast. It will be amazing. I don't want to be guest, but yeah, you will enjoy it for sure.
Those are a lot of fun. I do enjoy them.
Yeah, those are great. Mohammed, do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you want to throw out?
Yeah, go check out Sun Genius. Though the site is in maintenance right now, but I used to do blogging there, so go check it out.
All right, so we'll put a link to it.
Yep,
and
we'll definitely
one
want to
more
link to that as
thing
well.
One more thing is me and Dhruv are going to start one site. We are working towards it, so that we are going to share our content on that particular website. So it will be accessible to everyone.
Awesome.
We will create a separate podcast for that between me and him, but it will be available soon.
Great.
Be sure to put a guided tour on that.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. More ServiceNow content, especially from MVPs, is great. We love it.
Really
All right.
appreciate
Well,
it.
thanks everybody for joining. Thanks to the MVPs for joining this. Thanks for watching. We'll add some links to the description, and we will talk to everyone next week. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks.
Stay safe.